Once upon a time, there was a world full of laughter. Then a virus hit, and the whole thing was a disaster. But we got a show to let you know it's alright. It's alright. Even though it's only once a week, we guarantee you a front row seat at the Comedy Cellar Nightly show once a week.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Comedy Cellar Nightly show. My name is Dave Juskow, and we bring this show to you every Tuesday night at 7 o'clock, when, meanwhile, the Comedy Cellar is open for dinner at least. You can have dinner with the comics every night at 7 o'clock, and starting April 2nd, the Cellar will open all of its 3 rooms. I think it's 3 rooms, right? To, I think, what is it, 33% capacity? Is that the correct number? Or is it 32%? It sounds like half a person won't be able to get in. But that is the situation, and we love bringing the show to you. All right, let's start off with the prepared opening monologue that everybody loves so much. Well, what's in the news today? Let's see. President Biden tripped and fell 3 times while climbing stairs to Air Force One. So apparently the president's stuttering has spread to his feet. The president tripping could have been avoided if we let presidents board planes through a tunnel like every other American instead of making them climb stairs like Charles Lindbergh. What? No. A spokesman for Donald Trump said the former president plans to launch his own social media network. It'll be a lot like Twitter, except you're only allowed to use capital letters. And finally, Governor Cuomo has lowered New York's vaccine age requirement to 50 to put it on par with the number of accusations against him. Hey-o! All right, let's introduce our panel this evening. He has been a staple at Fox News for the past several years, including guest hosting on my sister and my Aunt Judy's favorite show, The Five, which ironically airs at 4. I'm joking, of course. He is currently hosting the Tom Shalhoub podcast on the TuneIn network. And when things get back to normal, we'll be continuing his stand-up comedy tour. Please welcome to the show, Tom Shalhoub, everybody.
Yeah!
Hello.
Doing it, Dave. Doing it.
She is a huge part also of the Fox News Nation. She is a contributing writer to the network's magazine and is the current producer of the Fox Business Network's After the Bell, which, by the way, do not be fooled, as this is not the reboot to Saved by the Bell, which I found out the hard way. She is an absolute bundle of energy and one of the sweetest people I know. And a year ago, she got to live out every boy and girl's childhood dream and married Madonna. Please welcome Jamie LaBella, everybody.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, what an intro. Thank you. I feel like I need like a chant or something. That was great. Thank you, my friend.
Well, you're proving my point.
People think he's kidding.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not kidding. She married
the
Madonna.
Audience think he's kidding. He's not. She did marry Madonna.
Yes, it's true. But my last name is LaBella Madonna. It's like LaBella is like, beautiful kind of. We'll see. Do you Vino?
It's funny too because I thought that Dave was going to say she lived out every girl's childhood dream. She got married at Disney, which she did. And she married.
Well, I'm going to talk about that in a second,
Madonna.
but
Okay.
Also let me just introduce as usual, Colin Smith, whose song Is It Ever Now, available on iTunes, and of course, Colin Smith Music on all social media. Our resident musician and wonderful
that I will
person,
chant
Colin.
to. Already downloaded.
Yeah, I know that Jamie got married in Disney World, which truly is. And we're going to talk about that later because I have some pictures I'm going to show because my sister is similar to you, where everything is still Disney related. The stuff you think you grow out of.
Oh, it's true. No, you never do. Are you kidding? It's like I can never be too old enough for Disney. And now you can drink at Disney. Well, when it was open, it's open again, kind of. Mediocre, kind of. Like 33%, just like Cuomo initiated, right. But Florida at least has like a little bit more of a standing ground. They have an option.
I don't think Florida had a pandemic at all. I mean, everything they did was, besides Disney World being closed, I'm pretty sure everything else was open.
Right. That's right.
They did it the right way, I guess. They were just like, we'll see it through. It'll either happen or it won't. Whatever. I know you almost got to respect it in a way. Everything was
almost. What do you mean almost, Dave?
What do you mean? I'm with that.
You have to respect it.
You have to respect
it. Yeah. It was fascinating. And it's funny because you just didn't hear about them having any other trouble than any other state. Like it wasn't like Florida has more casualties than anybody else. It does seem like they put it together quite well. We're not going to, although they do have outdoor areas. What I can't figure out, and Tom, maybe you can explain, like, What's up with California? Why would they close restaurants outdoors? It's like what? It's the perfect place to have a virus. You can all be outdoors and have a good time. Why do they shut it up so tight?
Control, Dave. They want control. They want full control. They want to ruin this whole society, Dave. They want to ruin it all. They want us all on our computers forever. Oh my gosh, the guy, he's the worst.
Gosh. He's the worst. Has he been recalled yet? Is he gone? I mean, I thought he was getting recalled. Like, he's got to go.
It's funny that the heroes of the pandemic, as Governor Newsom and Governor Cuomo were, and then 1 year later, they're the most hated people in the country. What happened? When
you're hated more than de Blasio, you know there's a problem. You know that there's really an issue. When de Blasio is kind of outranking you in the New York status here, you know there's really an issue.
Isn't that funny? Everybody's like, well, de Blasio's okay.
Yeah, de Blasio's kind of great.
He's kept his mouth shut the entire time through this. It's really kind of funny.
Yeah.
Like de Blasio for president. Like, what?
No, let's not get carried away. But yeah, Tom, that looks like you're enjoying yourself a nice glass of wine. You have the best background I've ever seen for somebody that has to do this. When you've been on the 5, are you doing it from home or are you going to the studio?
I do it. I like to go into the studio for the 5. And I've been doing Fox and Friends from home. And it's funny because I was doing them up in my office and there's a bookshelf up there. You got to have a bookshelf. If you're in cable news, you got to look like you read a lot of books, you know? Yeah. So
it's true.
Instead, one day it was kind of noisy in the house. So I came down to the basement and I have this kind of old fashioned 1970s paneling in the basement. And I set up this setup here. So this is kind of our kids' game room. And you can see I have Monopoly, Life, Big Boggle, the games. The games, yeah. So there's games over there. And then I have my books over here, which are kind of fake. I brought them down from upstairs. There was nothing there. And then I have cocktails and then many, many copies of my own book, which I bought myself.
Mean Dads for a Better America, man.
Yeah.
I love it.
I have many boxes of the books that I haul to gigs and sell after the show. So I bought them on discount and then I sell them at retail. You know, this is the kind of thing comedians do.
I know you have kids. Do you have a son?
No, 2 daughters.
2 daughters. That's what I thought. Okay. So then you couldn't open the box and of your new books and say, you see, son, I told you, if you stick to it, you can do anything you want, just from Back to the Future. I've been waiting to do that my whole life. You look, Dad, your new book, and there's only 1 copy in a huge box.
Yes, but because I don't have antiquated sexist thinking like you, Dave, I can say that to my daughters.
No, it has to be a boy. You're ruining Back to the Future for me. Are you going to tell Wendy Joe Sperber that? I don't think so. The funny thing about Back to the Future is, I don't know whether you know, but when his other brother, who played Clark Kent's who's Clark Kent's best friend in Superman? Wait. Jimmy Olsen in the Superman movies. Mark McClure. Why do I know all that? Remember when he goes to the office? He's like, I always go to the office. I always wear a suit to the office at the end.
Yeah.
It's a Saturday.
Yeah.
Was he going to the office in a suit on a Saturday? Even if he was going to the office, he wouldn't wear a suit on a Saturday.
You're right. You're right.
It's a major flaw with the picture. And I call that picture because I'm an old man, and that's what we used to call them back then.
Picture. Yeah, like what is that? A photograph?
Right, Colin?
Yeah. Oh my God, Dave.
So bored.
Yes. No, it's amazing. Every time it's just like, you represent full Dave Juskow. I'm never disappointed.
Ever.
Ever.
Why is everybody so angry?
You know what I want to know?
I mean, Jamie.
Sorry, I just like every time you mention like something from like pop culture or like old pop culture, I just know that you've got your routine like Monday, Tuesday, all the way, like 7 days a week. You know what you're watching and at what time. Isn't that true? To some degree. It's
not even the watching, it's the routine in general. I mean, that's why I'm afraid for things to go back to normal. I don't really do it. I only go out on Wednesdays. I go to the right behind me. I go visit the Cellar for a second, and I go to this bar next door, and I just, because I know the manager, I try to help. And then Thursdays I go visit my mother, and the rest of the time I'm already in here. Like I'm just in my apartment, and I just have a schedule, like, when I eat and how my Nutrisystem diet works and what scheduling is. And then I watch.
You do look great.
No, thank you. And then I watch episodes of Family Affair for some reason. I don't know why. Tom's the only one who's going to get that. So, and when I say get it, I mean, it's true, but nobody knows what it is. It's an old show from the 60s, and I don't know why I'm watching it.
You know what's funny? The other day, I just happened to be looking at some old stills from Family Affair. And Dave, when you and I were kids, we would watch Family Affair, and Mr. French, the butler,
That's right.
was Sebastian Cabot, and he was in our childhood, he was a fat man on television, a TV fat man. But he wasn't fat, Dave. Like, if you look back, Sebastian Cabot was not a fat man. It's just funny that, don't you remember him as a fat man?
Well, first of all, I've been so obsessed with the show for some reason because it makes me feel better when I'm just late at night. It's just, I'll just watch this episode because they don't know anything about the coronavirus. Right? It's from the 60s. And it takes place in Manhattan at a big penthouse. But he got sick for a while. And so I guess I think he's fat because why did he get sick except for being fat? So I do think of him as being fat. However, Jamie, you will be interested to know that he used to narrate Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, get out of here. I love Winnie the Pooh.
Disney.
So when you guys are saying Family Affair, I keep thinking Family Feud. That's not the same fat guy.
No, not the same. No. No. Different guy. That guy was fat for
but sure. No, he used to talk like Winnie the Pooh and friends.
Yes.
Mr. Piglet would go to Christopher Robin's house.
And underrated was Eeyore, man. He was just sad. Like he had a constant cloud. Like he had a stick on tail. Poor guy, right?
Yeah, well, some people call me the Jewish Eeyore.
No.
Okay. I imagine there's stiff competition for the Jewish Eeyore.
Yes, there is. Most of the people we know and had on the show before, so we could call Dan Natterman that. Or,
oh my God,
the list is really endless. All right, I'm going to share my screen and get to the slideshow presentation. You guys can all see my screen, right?
So professional, yes.
Well, what do you guys think of this? Since she's on your network, Candace Owens in an epic Twitter battle against Cardi B.
Yeah, so true. Well, she's not. Candace is not employed by Fox News. You know that.
I did not know.
No, she's.
I don't know what she does.
She's independent, but she's a guest all the time on different shows. But I absolutely love Candace Owens. I think she's fantastic. And it's about time somebody gets in a fight with Cardi B. Everyone genuflects before her. Oh, she's so great. She's such a powerful woman. I mean, I don't like Cardi B. I don't find her charming. I don't find her interesting. I find her quite boorish. And I'm glad Candace Owens is smacking her around.
Well, it's awesome too. Go ahead, Jamie. Sorry.
I'm going to agree there because she's the one girl that went on TikTok, right? And got all these youngins. I sound, like I'm from the 1960s. She got all them riled up like coronavirus. That's her, right? I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, that's her biggest hit was on TikTok. So she's got to get real. And I'm glad Candace Owens, who I also adore, is calling her out. Somebody's got to call her out. Somebody's got to call her out.
I don't know whether you guys heard, but it got even worse today. Candace is thinking of suing her because Cardi B is saying now that she slept with her husband.
Ooh, nasty.
Yeah, it's a throwdown.
I mean, that's bad.
She's like, that's photoshopped. It's really funny. I mean, it's just getting out of control. And that's the only reason I like Cardi B, because she doesn't seem to give a shit. Meanwhile, that performance
it's the only refuge for like punk in the modern musical landscape. And for that, I'm
what I like, you're absolutely right. And what I actually liked about the Grammy performance, because I didn't really like it because I am too old to appreciate, but what I liked is that she used a stripper pole, and I like that she does what she knows. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, practice makes perfect.
How do you feel about this whore? Sorry, that should have came out the wrong way. I am just so, this makes me so happy. This girl, first of all, she's way hot. But this is Alexi McCammon, who, as you know, got fired from Vogue. Teen Vogue was going to be the head of Teen Vogue because of her anti-Asian comments. And everybody's saying she's not racist at all. But even though these were 10 years ago when she was 17, if you're saying, I got a bad grade because of the stupid Asian teacher's assistant, that seems pretty racist to me. And it's kind of beautiful that, no offense, Jamie, but that a 27-year-old is getting cancel cultured by her own thing that they created. Thank you.
Well, here's the thing. You hit the nail on the head there. It's cancel culture eating their own. They're like literally eating their own heads here. So what's happening is like you have the cancel culture, this woke culture that's coming after everything that everyone's passed. Normally it's the GOP and censorship of the GOP. But right here, you've got an example of someone from Teen Vogue who 10 years ago did the same thing, and now she's getting her head bit off by her own, quite literally her own.
It's great.
So
right?
It's great.
It gets worse. This girl is the one that blew the whistle on her and said she's done some racist tweets. This girl also works at Teen Vogue and just got fired because she used the N-word in her things about 10 years ago. I mean, this is the girl that blew the whistle on her.
Hilarious.
It's beautiful.
Hilarious.
I didn't take enough mushrooms for this episode.
and while all this is going on, this is happening, and nobody cares that Britney's a prisoner and they're having the protest. Why aren't we concentrating on this?
People care. I care.
The important stuff.
Hashtag free Britney, man. Free Brit.
I mean, I just don't understand how adults can have be under conservatorship. That doesn't make any sense to me. I could understand if she were 16 or 17, but she didn't even get put under this order until she was like way into her 20s, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm with you 100%, Tom. But the fact of the matter is, do these adults really need to have a parade on March 17th? This is just a few days ago. I mean, because of there's got to be other things they can concentrate on.
Yeah.
I feel.
Well, at least one of them remembered it was St. Patrick's Day. That girl there with the green ears.
Right here. With
Oh,
the green.
yeah. Okay. All right. She's vibing the green. I like
when
it.
you have all this pink on St. Patrick's Day, what is that? What is that saying to your Irish pals? Am I right, Colin?
You're not right, but.
And then, as if things could get any worse, the National Weather Service saying the Greek alphabet will never be used again to name tropical storms. And now the Greek people are in an uproar that this is happening. No, I was just kidding about those. They're protesting something else. I don't know what's happening.
That's funny.
What if they were just waiting to get into a football game? Actually, I think that's what that was. They were waiting to go see Athens FC kick the shit out of Sparta.
These people don't look like they're in the mood for a good time, and there's nobody young there.
Well, they're bottom of the table.
I mean, that guy looks, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys are following March Madness. I chose this year not to follow it at all because I think it's tainted. They've already had a forfeiture because of COVID. And so I didn't, I'm a big gambling person, Tom,
Yeah.
I love the brackets and everything, but it's ridiculous. And they already had a huge upset. Ohio State lost. They were the number 2 seed. They lost to Oral Roberts University, which is why it's hilarious. And this guy is getting death threats because they lost, which of course which I get because as a gambler, that pisses me off that they lost to this stupid team. But
wait, who's the guy who's getting death threats? Why? Because what did he do?
He lost the game. This poor
Why?
kid, EJ Little, they lost to Oral Roberts. They were the 2 seed. They were expected to go to the Final Four.
But so they just lost the basketball. How does this have to do with COVID?
It has nothing to do with, it might have something to do with COVID because I think if it wasn't a COVID time and everybody was in perfect shape and they got to play all their games, they would not have lost to Oral Roberts University.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, this poor guy is receiving death threats. What he should be receiving, just threats or hate mail for is that he looks exactly like Bubba from Forrest Gump. That's bad. And the worst part is, and the worst part is he lost to this guy who's very sexy. That's Kevin Obanor, and he won the game and he beat them, and he looks a lot like Steph Curry.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking
not
about.
Not bad.
Right? Yeah. So I don't know what's going on with college basketball, but did you guys see this happen?
Yeah.
This
is hilarious because it was, the go ahead, David. You can describe the situation better than me.
These are the St. Bonaventure Bonnies who just won the ACC tournament about a week and a half ago. And this is their photographer, their school team photographer, who I think might even be a classmate. I don't know. And apparently the security guard doesn't seem to get it. The guy looks like he belongs there. And I mean, can you imagine if this was a black guy? Then everyone would know about this. And you can see the teammates are like, what's going on? They love this guy.
Yeah, the funny thing to me is when it all came out, they were like, oh, it was just a misunderstanding. He didn't realize he was employed by the team. He shouldn't choke anybody, any photographer. Like, that was the whole thing.
Right. Well,
it almost looks like a love grab. No? Okay, that's not like how they play in
best
sports.
Part. I actually have footage of watching it transpire, and this is the best. Here's the kid right over here, okay? Wait do you see that? And here's my favorite part, is you see the guy coming up to him, but now as if it's in like a play, scripted, they bring in this platform like to hide the it's like it's scripted in a movie or something. Like, we're not going to show this scene, but then it goes back. Look at him. He's like trying to escape. He's like, I'm trying to get the footage. And he keeps coming back. And he's like, no, you're not going to get that footage. And then these guys are like, what's going on? They come to his defense. I love that when you can see it all happen. And he throws them on the floor. Look, they're all coming after him. Isn't that nice?
Poor thing.
I know.
Guy's out there trying to do his job. They got a mask over his face. This whole thing is ridiculous. And it's all because of this overreaction, grabbing people, dragging them up. It's all we are in a ridiculous state of medical panic, and it's pathetic. It is pathetic to look at that stuff.
No, it isn't. It's like it's instilled fear. I got in an Uber today and I had to take a photograph of myself, of my face, a selfie. I had to awkwardly take a selfie, like in front of this car in the middle of the street, to prove that I had a mask on.
Really?
To prove it.
Before you got in an Uber?
Before I got in an Uber today. And I thought to myself, like, this is a little awkward. And I also look like an idiot. Like, I look like one of those influencers in the street that's like, oh my God, check me out. But no, I was actually just trying to get into an Uber. I was
That's
just
amazing.
trying to get my ride. Yeah.
Who did that? Did Uber do that?
Yeah,
Uber did it. Uber did it. And they took it twice. So after I even took the selfie, and I was like mortified and embarrassed, but I was like, you know what? I have to get to where I got to get. Afterward, on the way home, they did it again. I'm like, don't you have my face already? Like, I have to do this every time to prove to you.
Odd because so I didn't take any public transportation for a full year. You know, I was just seeing if I could make it. You know, like I thought it was a good experiment.
Get him, guys. Get him, guys. He's subject to the panic. Go, get him sick. Dave, you piece of shit pussy.
So I took like the
afraid of this piece of shit pussy fucking virus. Fuck you, Dave. Fuck you, Dave, for not getting on the NTA, you piece of shit pussy, Dave.
Get him. But I finally took one on March 9th, and I didn't have to do that. That's why I'm getting, did they just start that? Is that new?
You know what? Good question, because it only started for me today, but it was awkward as hell. And who's got those photos? And where are my photos going? where are all my selfies going awkwardly in my mask? Like, why am I doing
They actually make us take a selfie when we take those new Revel scooters because there's a bunch of idiots who don't know how to ride a scooter who are riding them, so they keep ruining it for everybody else. And then you have to take a picture, making sure you have your helmet on, which I immediately take off after I take that picture.
You're like, this is a fraud. And then I want to rebel. You know?
I know, and then you look so stupid, and that I feel like an idiot when I'm taking that picture, like a selfie of myself with the helmet. I look stupid, but then they turn on the bike for me, so there's no way out of it.
You're like, I'm getting out of here.
This is Sharon Stone saying she was misled about the explicit interrogation scene in Basic Instinct. She said this in Vanity Fair because she has a new autobiography coming out. I mean, this is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. She's like, I didn't know. The story goes that Paul Vanderhooven, I think that's how you pronounce his name, the director, said, oh, your panties, and again, I feel at my age I shouldn't even be using the word panties. It's creepy every time I say it. So whatever she's wearing underneath that was reflecting light because they were white, and he asked them to take it off. He asked her to take it off. Now, I don't know what actress hasn't seen the movie Fame, especially at her age or whatever, but if the director asks you to take off your underwear, you know, you'd be like, okay. If she was just like, wait a minute, are you sure that camera facing me isn't going to catch what's going on down there? Like, no, this is totally different. I don't know how you can complain about it. It seems like once somebody tells you to take off something, you have to question. But she was like, yeah, no problem. I can't see that going on tape, even though the camera's pointing directly at me.
I mean, yeah, that this whole thing is just a little weird. Yes, the word panties definitely awkward, but sorry. I think the whole idea of her saying that she had no idea is BS. I mean, you had to know, right? It's like you're standing in the light. You're like, listen, I'm like half naked. Like they're like, take off your panties. You're like, what the hell? Panties, even when I say it, is weird. Just to be clear, just to be clear, it's not you. It's also me.
I remember her saying this 20 years ago. So she said it right after the film came out, and nobody believed her then. But it sounds plausible to me. These things that happen on the set, the way they do the lighting and everything.
No. I agree that there was a thing, but that's the time where you're like, I don't know. Are you positive that this? I mean, and the camera's facing right at her. What does she think's going to happen when she uncrosses her legs? How do you think that's going to end?
Yeah. Well, you know, Peter Weller had the same complaint about RoboCop. Yeah, he said, I did not know I was going to be a robot. He didn't tell me. I had no idea. No.
For a second, I don't know why. Right.
Yeah,
and that's right. No like, who is this Elizabeth Berkley complaining about Showgirls after you see this movie? You're just like, well, no, this guy, he's tasteful. He's tasteful. And here's Spring Break! Spring Break! This was taken 2 days ago. This is Florida. You gotta respect it, man. They don't care. I mean,
So
it's
full
unbelievable.
disclosure. I have full disclosure. I was just in Miami. I was not here, and I was none of these women. But I was in a little place called Brickell, which was downtown Miami. It's kind of like the financial district. So think of it as like, Midtown Manhattan versus, downtown Manhattan versus like financial district.
Yeah.
And I saw none of this. So
Really?
my question about this whole scenario is like, we're like pinpointing the Miami Beach area. And yes, of course, there's like buck wild people who are like quite literally need a curfew because after 7 months being locked inside, they're now outside, they're having a cocktail. They're like, wow, no mask, forget it, in a free state. But where I was, I didn't see any of this. So it's crazy that I'm seeing like half naked people in the distance here because that really wasn't what I saw.
And then it's like, how do you even?
I mean, but you just said it though. It's an entirely different locale. It might as well have been a
Very
different
different.
city.
But it's like, how do you
Miami
even
Beach
blame
is Miami
these
Beach.
kids?
Right.
They haven't been pent up the whole
they've
time. They've been there the whole time. I've been there.
Right.
Like, yeah. So
Like, do we
I
need
think
the forest?
I was always under the impression that spring break was other parts of Miami. Doesn't seem to be famous for spring break, do they? I always feel like it's Fort Lauderdale.
Well, this is Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, this is Fort Lauderdale.
On the
Okay,
truck,
yeah.
It says Fort Lauderdale. So yeah, but you can see it doesn't look normal. Like there's a wooded area and stuff. It doesn't look like a
Right.
normal beach. So you might be
Right.
right. But I don't know. For some reason, I give these kids a pass. Everybody's been so good. It's hard to lock up people.
Oh, it's idiotic. Of course, no, Dave. I mean, they don't need a pass. They're human beings.
Right.
We used to live in something called a free country. This is ridiculous. Everyone should do whatever the hell they want, and these sick people should stop with this nonsense. And we should be open. Our comedy clubs should all be open. People should do what they feel like doing.
I guess whatever they feel comfortable with.
And it's their decision. If I want to,
Right.
if I feel comfortable in my mask, I should be able to wear my mask on the beach, wherever I want to do with it. If I want to wear the mask as my body, whatever. But everyone has a decision to make, and they can make their decision. It can't be like up to Cuomo and Gavin Newsom.
That's why it's beautiful. This is a beautiful sight. I love seeing crowds of people on the beach. It's fantastic. And look at these three people here. They look fantastic.
Aren't we great together? The
Oh
three
my
of us
God, how
together.
cute are we? I will cheers to that.
The
That is
Three
great.
Musketeers together again.
Oh, and we're hugging, we're touching. It's great.
That exactly right. Totally, like we were touching each other. We're all together because this is obviously before everything went to shit. And this was every time we were on Tom's show. This Taz always wrote these little sketches, which was so nice. I'd like to think this is me because I look okay there, but maybe that's me. I
Yeah,
think
you
this
look
is
chic.
me.
Yeah, I look. Fantastic, Taz. I'm telling you, man.
Yeah.
I think she's watching right now.
Yeah,
and
she's
this
great.
wow, that's a great photo. Who's
Yeah,
the
I
who
miss
is
these.
that like pickle?
I don't know. I was hoping Tom might know.
I think it's Veggie Tales because Eric Metaxas was probably on the show, and he was one of the writers of Veggie Tales.
See, he
You're
knows stuff.
right.
See?
Bingo.
Well, here's something that's sweeping the nation. In a few weeks, it's Barbershop Quartet Day.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's talking about it. And folks, I don't mind telling you, this guy, Tom Shalhoub, I mean, I'm not even joking around. When you see this guy bringing Barbershop to a new level,
Hey, look at that. I'm in the front.
wait till you see this, folks.
We're bringing sexy back. We're bringing sexy back. Bringing sexy back. Bringing sexy back. I'm bringing sexy back.
They got Justin Timberlake to do this, which I thought when Tom told me he was in a Barbershop Quartet, I assumed it was a gag. It's no gag if you got Justin Timberlake to.
Not a gag.
But that's nothing, folks. What's this? Here's another episode.
I got a condo in Manhattan.
How did you coax these people? And wait, you're not even going to believe this next one, folks. Tom Shalhoub has bought the Barbershop Quartet as far as it can actually go. to wait, Colin, you couldn't even imagine this one. Yeah, they're singing Happy Birthday at Madison Square Garden. The fucking Billy Joel. It's unbelievable. If Tom Shalhoub isn't the true Tom Sawyer of our generation, he can coax people into painting a wall and a fence with them. I mean,
that just made me so giddy. Like, that just made me so happy. And all I want to do is see Tom Shalhoub singing quartet at a Billy Joel concert.
Right? I mean,
That
Colin,
was
can
great.
you even believe that? That's like they're singing to Billy Joel for his birthday.
Like, what? You know you've made it when? Like, what? Oh my God.
Yeah, that's when.
And it is funny that, that night, the funny thing about that was that, it was Madison Square Garden packed,
Yeah.
And Jimmy was so excited. Like, he was beside himself. He was like, can you believe what we're doing? And like, the funny thing was, Jimmy was way more thrilled than I was. I was just like, all right, let's just sing the song. Like, I just wanted to do my song,
Yeah,
and
you're
get
at
out
the
of
garden
it.
all the time. So why yeah, exactly.
But it's funny. It was just like, I was surprised because Jimmy's on TV every night with millions of viewers. But a live audience is a different thing. He never got to be in front of that Madison Square Garden crowd. So he was totally into it. And I was like, oh, wow, I should be into this too,
Yeah, and right after you guys leave the stage, he plays New York State of Mind. I mean, it's ridiculous.
I mean,
Yeah.
come on. What?
Yeah.
Here's Tom when he's hosting, I guess, or I think you're hosting the 5 on this one, right? So
Yeah, co-hosting, that's for sure.
co-hosting. Now here is the lovely Jamie LaBella, just at a restaurant enjoying herself, because this is the way Jamie goes to restaurants, in a classy fashion with the proper headgear.
With the same red wine. Always the same red wine.
But
That
look
I'll
how
tell you.
classy you are. And the reason why I put this picture up is because I tend to go a different direction when I'm eating. I try and stuff myself with chicken wings or eat burritos and I don't do the classy part that you do.
That is way more attractive. Oh, good.
Look
at that.
Good. Very
Getting
good.
married right here, Cinderella's castle, folks.
You know what?
Unbelievable.
But the castle looks way better than my harem pants. That I will throw out there.
Well, as far as we're concerned, we're not
And a lot
even
thinner, and a
positive
lot
if that's
thinner.
you.
Yeah, it might not have been.
But you love Disney. Who are
Yes,
these
we
people?
love Disney. This is my cousin Daniel and my Uncle Bill, and that's obviously Winnie the Pooh. And like, he's also part of the family. So we have a really good vibe.
Exactly. And that's why I brought it up, because here's me and my sister and her kids. And she made us wear shirts. She's just as Disney as you are. We photoshopped my dad photoshopped my friend. Tom, this is that waitress from Catch a Rising Star, Katie.
Oh, yeah. That's
She
so
was-
funny.
She was there. My sister wouldn't let her in the picture.
Who's the baby? Who's that
That
little
is
one?
my nephew, Billy, who's now 18.
Oh, God.
This this is my niece, Dory. She is in dental school. And my niece, Liza, is at the University of Massachusetts. I mean,
Oh,
it's
my
so-
gosh.
And here we are all grown up.
That is amazing.
You went back. Oh,
Jamie,
I'm so proud.
my sister is just like you. It's all
I
Disney
love her.
all the time. And the key to knowing if you really worship the Disney like you do you have this jacket?
You know what? I do. I have that
knew it.
jacket.
I knew
Not
it.
only do I have that jacket,
every
I think my
Disney-
mother has that jacket. My mom has one too.
My
I think
sister
we
has it
all
too.
bought that jacket at the same time.
Yep. Every woman that's a big Disney person that wants to get married has this jacket, this denim jacket.
Oh, God,
It's
mortifying.
funny.
All
Why
of
that jacket? Why is that one so popular?
I don't
that
know.
is
I've noticed
vintage.
it.
It's vintage. It's vintage 90s. It's
Okay.
vintage 90s Disney. You see the collar? You see that like
Right.
puff collar there? Like, you could flip that up and it's got like a
I wouldn't know about
lightning.
that because I'm straight.
Yeah.
Even though
You
Steph
could
Curry's
borrow it.
amazing.
Yes. Oh my God. Honestly, but I love your sister, and you tell her that I want to go to Disney with her.
I will. She'd be thrilled. Here's Jamie's show every day at 4:00 on Fox Business called After the Bell. However, Jamie's gotten a little full of herself lately. I didn't want to say anything, and she's thinking of changing it to After LaBella.
Oh, that
Just plain rude. Really.
That is
is
good.
right.
That is a
Well,
great one.
How is it not called that? That's the first thing I would do if I took over.
I love that. There just needs to be like a vino glass as like the underline for after.
This was National Elephant Day on March 13th in Thailand. And as everybody who watches this show all the time knows how I like to celebrate National Elephant Day by watching, as we've talked about multiple times, Operation Dumbo Drop on a solid loop. And this, speaking of animals, is a Siberian tiger who's getting dental surgery at a French zoo. And the only reason I put it here is because I couldn't even believe it when I saw it. This is the exact premise to the Eddie Murphy version of Dr. Doolittle, which I couldn't believe was actually happening. I'm like, wait a minute. And I guarantee when somebody saw that picture, their head did not go to this. And finally, I will just tell you that our friend Eddie Ift, Tom, you remember Eddie Ift, right?
What, are you kidding me? Eddie Ift, of course.
Yeah. He's got a new album, came out today. If you subscribe to his Pandora channel, you can get it today, Sweet Home Alabama. Otherwise, it comes out on March 30th, where next week he will come on and tell us a little bit more about it.
Oh, I'm down for that. I like that car. I like that truck, that little vintage white truck situation going on.
It's an outstanding album photo.
Love it.
Tom looks confused by it, though.
No, I'm staring closely. But that's great that he has a new album out. And so he's going to be on your show?
Yeah, he's going to be on just for a couple of minutes to talk about the stuff. Otherwise, next week we have another musician, but I'll explain that in a second.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, folks, it is time for our good friend Colin Smith to sing us a song, as he does every week. What do you have for us today, Colin?
Woo!
I pivoted there during the show to something I wrote probably about 11 months ago. All right.
Sorry.
The question of faith rings out for the needy. The look on my face for the only one who sees me. Life between the calls, thrust into the dark. Never been more aware of everyone than I am right now. All the strong ones, all the weak ones, all the heavy ones, all the messy ones. If the worst comes, I know it's scary to address. I would want you to know. So don't even sweat it, don't you waste time second guessing. It was only ever love. It's all it ever was. Don't tell me it's not funny or that I'm a bit too loud. All bets are off, I'm feeling everything I can right now. All the me I hid, the fucking uselessness of it, makes me wanna check on everyone we were leaving out. All the heavy ones, all the messy ones, all the mad ones, and all the sad ones. If the worst comes, I know it's scary to address it. I would want you to know. So don't even sweat it, don't you waste time second guessing. It was only ever love. It's all it ever was. Don't worry, I'm gonna shut up right after I get my hug. If the worst comes, I know it's scary to address. I would want you to know. So don't even sweat it, don't you waste time second guessing. It was only ever love. It's all it ever was. All it ever was. It's all it ever was.
There you go, Colin.
Thank you. That's for Adam Schlesinger right there.
Oh, that's so nice. Thank you.
Encore.
It's,
Encore.
Well, that is
fantastic.
our show for today. Jamie, I know you got after the bell. What else anything else you want to plug?
Yeah, so we're working on Fox Business tonight. So it's the 5 p.m. show now. We've got a fun rotating anchor situation going on. I think you guys will like it. Please tune in at 5 p.m. on Fox Business. And follow Stuff Tortellini on Instagram. It's my dog.
Your dog is. Oh, okay. I was going to say, I thought your dog was named Tortellini.
It's actually National Dog Day. So, dog. I said that as such a Long Islander. It's actually National
Dog Day. It's Dog Day.
You want to see him real quick? Wait, hold on. I'm going to plug
more than anything in the whole world.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see this dog.
Here he is.
Tortellini.
Oh my God, that's Liz's favorite dog. Liz, the manager of the Cellar.
Oh, that's real. I thought you were going to show us a picture. You're showing us the actual dog.
Is that a
He's
pug?
here too. He's here.
It's a Frenchie.
What kind?
But Tom's got way better things going on. Tom, you.
Oh, a French bulldog.
Yeah, he good. His name's Tortellini. He's chubby.
What were you saying
That
about
dog is
Tom?
great.
Oh,
Great dog.
and Tom, I know you were at the Stress Factory, one of the first times anybody's ever performed inside all this time last week.
It was great.
Do
It
you
was
have
great.
anything
That's
else?
a nice club out there. I went to both clubs. I played his Jersey club on
Any
Sunday,
brand, right?
and he's got this outdoor tent set up.
Yes, I performed there just before it all closed down, September 30th. It was great. That tent, he spent a lot of money on putting it together nice.
Yeah, so they're going to keep the tent even after they open up, which is great because it has a feel of an outdoor, outdoor space. Then the Bridgeport Club was fantastic. It's in an old theater, classic old theater, split level, very, very great place. But I did 5 shows. It was like, I'm looking at faces, big crowds of faces because it's a dinner venue. So you get in there, you get to your magic table and you can take off your magic mask. And so I'm looking at all the faces. It was fantastic.
So nice.
Do you have any more gigs coming up?
No, I have some with Gutfeld. I'm doing the South Carolina Speedway with Greg Gutfeld in April. So that's kind of an outdoor or semi-outdoor venue. And I have 3 other dates with Gutfeld planned this year, but I'm sure there'll be more. And I'm just hoping to get back out there. It's the clubs should be, like you said, the Cellar will be open.
Yep.
And I only hope they get rid of the dumb restrictions.
They'll keep loosening them. The more Cuomo gets accused, the more they'll loosen up here, at least.
That's right. And we'll be front row. We're going to be front row. And all I need is you in a quartet. Please, Lord, hear my prayer. Hear my prayer.
So, yes. And Colin, you got anything coming out?
Yeah, I'm going to be doing the Cardi B first inaugural double dildo orgy.
Outstanding.
That is fantastic.
Good. Well, that is our show for this week. Next week, we have musician Leslie Mendelson. Once a month, we're going to be having more music oriented with Colin
Finally,
and
some
of his
class
friends
up in this joint.
So musician Leslie Mendelson will be joining us next week, possibly Rachel Feinstein as well.
Whoa!
And,
Whoa!
What a show. And a little cameo from Eddie Eft. And the week after that, we have the amazing Fred Stoller will be joining us.
Wow.
Yes,
Come on now.
I haven't seen him in multiple years, but he is a living legend, television icon. Am I right,
You're
Tom?
a living legend.
Truly.
You.
And and that's pretty much what we got going on. Don't forget that the Cellar is open up for dinner, at least. The Olive Tree is open at 7:00 every day until April 2nd, when everything opens up to the capacity that is legally allowed up until right now. And then hopefully things will go back to heavy normal by the summer or something. I guess we'll see. But thank you for watching. As always, click the donate button in the chat room if you've enjoyed the program, and even if you didn't enjoy the program. And we will see you next week. Thanks so much, you guys, for coming on today.